One sec, let me back up in the frame and make sure this is good. This is my first time teaching since we got this little laptop set up in here with our ring light set up. We're taking this to a whole new level of professionalism. So hope you guys enjoy. And notice that the mirror's not behind me anymore. We're reoriented. Anyway, okay, so let's get started in child pose. Everybody make your way onto your hands and knees. And start to bring a sense of ease into your body through your breath. Reach your fingers forward. And spread your fingers out. And begin to notice like how your week has landed on you, or how last week has landed on you, guys. Today's Monday. It's always the day of the week where I feel the most heavy. Notice how that feels right now in the physical. And then expand out wider. Take your right hand out to the right. Take your left hand out to the left. Almost like you're kind of doing like a V with your arms. And then walk both of your hands over to the right. Still spreading out the fingers. Let your hands grip the floor. Move back to center, and then take both of your hands over to the left. So leaning into the left side here, getting a good stretch in the right side body. Take one final breath. As you do that, reach your hips back. Exhale out a big sigh, and then come back to center. And move into tabletop. Let's play around here for a minute. So bring your shoulders right over your wrists, bring your hips over your knees, and then just start to rock right to left, back to front. Notice what's feeling good, notice what doesn't. And then maybe start to roll your back a little bit. Not even cat-cows yet, but just rolling, kind of rounding up and then down like a wave. And if you need to, pay attention to your wrists. You can turn your fingers toward you. I should get on the mat for a sec. Can you guys see me over here? It feels like I'm really far back. Okay. Yeah, so maybe turn your hands towards your knees. If that's not enough, go ahead and bend your elbows. So bend into this. Really good forearm and wrist stretch. And when you're done with that, reorient your hands and let's go into some cat-cows. So sinking low with the belly, arch your back, look up, and then exhale, round up. I'm gonna play around with a couple of these. Find that flat back, and then reach your right hand out in front of you. Draw your left foot back. And make sure that you're not hyperextending. So we don't want to arch the back right now. We're looking for that long spine. So if I'm right here and I go up like this, then I'm arching. So pull everything in, knit your front ribs together. Take a breath. Exhale that elbow to that knee. So contracting in, good. Take it back out. And one more time, take your elbow to your knee, draw in. Exhale, Extend. Sit back to tabletop. Other side, bring your left arm out in front. Draw your right leg behind. And just for a sec, feel the full length of your spine. Point your toes down towards the mat so you're flexing your foot. Take a breath in. Exhale together, elbow to knee. Take it back out, reach long, take a breath in, exhale, elbow to knee. Take it back out, tabletop pose. And then take your right leg behind you again, point your toes down towards the earth, and then let's spin to the right for side plank. So you can either put the nice edge of that foot down the mat, lift the right arm up, a supported side plank on your knee, or you can choose to take a fuller expression. So come from you're ready now, whatever that looks like. Maybe it is your knee on the ground right now, and that's great. Just support yourself and lift up into your fullest expression, however that looks at this moment. Breathing, deep breathing, look up at your top hand. And then exhale back to your tabletop. Let's take the other side. So take your left leg back, toes point down. Take a big breath in. Lift the left arm up. So base down through your knee or the knife edge of both of your feet. If you've got a leg you can lift up right now, go there. Take a big breath. Back to tabletop. And then curl your toes under, lift your tail up, downward facing dog. And then just take a moment to expand right here into this pose. See if your legs are feeling tight right now. Bring some water into your body. Pedal out your feet. Let your head be heavy. And serious, move your chest a little closer to your thighs so that you're pressing your hips up and back and your chest is doing the same thing. Almost like you're trying to close the gap, but we're not moving our hands. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, let your heels drive down towards the ground a little further. And then lift your right leg up into the air. And bend your knee, open up your hip. And then peel open, look underneath your right armpit, take a breath in, stay or flip. Right, I never do this in the beginning of my practice because I've always managed to convince myself, like, you're not ready. And sometimes I'm not. You know what, on the odd day that I am, and if that's you right now, lift up higher. Take a breath. Come back to your downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up into the air. Bend your knee, open up your hip. And start to shift your gaze. So look underneath your left armpit. Spread your fingers out wide. Take a breath again. Either expand here into flip dog or stay where you are. Yeah, and notice if you're trying to rush your process right now. If you're trying to go on to the next pose or the next thing. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right hand and your left foot to your left hand. Let's take ragdoll. When I was younger, my mother would always tell me that speeding wasn't going to get me to my destination any faster. And I was like, yes, it does. Everybody knows that. That's why it's speeding. And so one time we tested it out and I only beat her by a minute. And I think that happened more than once. Also, I didn't feel safe while I was doing it. So there's always going to be a payoff. And usually when I rush my own process, I don't remember the process. I don't learn the things I need to learn. And I don't usually remember the journey from point A to point B. There's just a sense that it got done. So I invite you for the rest of this practice just to slow down, tune into your breath, and use your intuition. Let yourself be supported by that. Go at the pace that you need to. Use what you have. Be where you are. And just do what you can. So with that, let's go ahead and take our feet together. Take a big breath in, rise all the way up to the sky. High mountain pose. Find your Tadasana. This is your line. Take another breath right here. Feel your back lifting up. Like, this is one of my favorite assists to do, is to come put my hands on someone's back and just press their shoulder blades up and back. So draw your shoulder blades onto your spine. Just imagine somebody's helping you lift. To root down to rise. One more full breath. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Let's start class with one Om. Reach back up towards the sky, high mountain pose. Exhale, fold all the way down, deep bow. Take your fingertips down towards the ground. Bend your knees if you need to. Take a breath in, come up halfway. Fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Notice with each progressive fold, if you can exhale a little bit deeper and then go down a little bit further. Let's do that again. Take a breath, come up halfway. Exhale, bow down. And then last time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to your plank. So step your feet to the back of your mat. Make this a long plank. I notice that when I bring my heels right over my toes, I feel like I'm stretching further. So reach forward with the crown of your head, back with your toes, and then take a deep breath in. Start to bend your elbows, lower down to low plank. Inhale, upward dog, and then just hold that right here for a second. Twist to your right, look over your right shoulder. Look back to center, look over your left shoulder. Look back to center, downward facing dog. Big exhale. Look between your hands, step forward. Take a breath, half lift. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose. Take a bow. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. And low plank. Inhale, up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, step or hop to the front. Halfway rise, fold. Take a breath, lift your fingertips, mountain pose. And open your fingers wide, bring energy to this, get longer, and then bow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high to low or chaturanga. Take a breath, lift up. Exhale, go back. Look forward, go forward. Half rise, fold, Tadasana, and bow forward. Halfway lift, chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. I hope you guys are starting to build a little heat now, whether you're home or outside, inside, outside. Maybe you guys have the heat on. Yeah, I drank a smoothie on the way here. When I got here, I felt cold, so I turned the heat on in this room. I'm sweating. Hopefully you guys are too. Bend your knees, take a jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose. Bring some energy into this. Sometimes in the Baptiste series, this pose is called lightning bolt. So, and I don't know if that's because of the shape or just because it sort of lights up the whole body. You might be feeling that right now in your quads. Maybe your glutes. And we were doing a boot camp yesterday, and I was teaching people how to squat. So I want you guys to, it just sort of brought me back to the fundamentals of this. So proper squat pose is just sitting back, almost like there's a chair behind you, and that's probably another reason for the name chairless pose. So aim back. If you can't see your toes, then you're probably not sitting back. You're probably bringing your knees forward. Not the best for our joints. So sit back into this. Lift your arms up by your ears. Take a breath in. Look up. One more inhale. Exhale, forward bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump back to chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Let it out. Lift your right leg into the air. Move to high plank. Yeah, with your right leg lifted. Good. Now bring your right knee towards your nose. And hugging skin to muscle to bone, and then step that right foot forward. Right, so no momentum needed. You guys can get that foot to the front of your mat just by using your own core. So power up to your center. Take an inhale, lift up into warrior one. Move both of your hips till they're square to the front. Take a breath. Let's go back. Bend your arms into cactus arms. Reach for the back of the room. Take another breath. Reach back up. Exhale down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And lift your left leg up into the air. High plank. So bring your shoulders right over your wrists, just like you would in normal plank. Good. Draw your knee towards your nose. Try to avoid any rounding in your shoulders. If your back is rounding, maybe don't bring your knee in just so close. You can tap your foot onto the ground if you need to. But take another breath. Step that foot up. Warrior one. So warrior one, left side. Reach your arms up. And then bring that left knee right over your ankle. Take a big inhale. Bend your elbows back. Cactus arms. Go back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look between your hands, move up. Halfway rise, fold, chair. This time let's go into warrior three. So we're gonna staying in our chair. Actually, and I don't actually know that this is the right way to do warrior three, but I like to go into it from chair. So I keep my legs as bent as they are in chair. So we're gonna keep a really bent left leg, and we're gonna take our right leg back. Take your arms in front. And maybe the regular version of warrior three is your knee locked out, but stay in your warrior. Stay in your leg. Feel your left glute firing up. Take another breath. Go back to chair. Then we're gonna take our focus onto the right side. So bring your attention into your right leg. Take your left leg back. Keep your right knee bent. Reach your arms forward. Look down at the ground. Take a breath in. Chair pose. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And take it on your left. Step your left foot up. Take a nice long warrior one too. And then bring your knee right over your ankle. Take an inhale. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Bend your knee top between your hands. Half lift. Fold. Chair. And sink the weight into your heels. Take a breath. And lower your chest. Ardha Utkatasana. Lower your hips too. And just see. Imagine you're just like a little ball right now. Pretty much hug yourself in. If you want to, you can even grab your knees to sort of drive that visual home. Take a breath. Rise back up, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior one. Take a breath as you lift. Exhale down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Okay, breathe in to rise. Hug your feet down into your mat. Hit the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, one more time. Look between your hands. Go there. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose. Fold. Half rise, chaturanga. Upward dog, downward dog. Right side warrior one. And then we're just going to hold this for a second. So I want you guys to make sure, as you're in your warrior one here, that you're not like sticking your chest forward and your butt out, because that's not really the way to optimize this. You want to tuck your tailbone down, and as you do that, you're going to notice immediately what's going to happen in the back leg is that you're going to this is going to be stretching out a lot more. This back hip flexor, kind of going into the psoas and groin there. So breathe, take another breath in. Exhale a big breath out, stay put. And chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And remember guys, to stay present in whatever moment you're in, right? Because there's no guarantee that the next one's going to be better. It could be, but this one might be the best moment. Take your left foot forward into warrior one. Fill up your lungs with air as you reach up towards the sky. And allow yourself to notice the relationship of your hips to each other, the front knee coming right over the ankle. Take another breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe. I've learned a lot about myself the last few weeks just from not hanging out with other people. And one of the things I've realized is that I don't really stop to ask myself a whole lot, like, what are the payoffs of doing what I'm doing? I just do them. And if it's something I want to stop now, I'm like, well, what's the payoff in being stuck? What's the payoff of going fast? And sometimes we come into the realization that the things that we're doing are just holding us back. And a lot of times it's because we feel safer that way. Notice where you do that. Take a moment to slow down. And once we see what's happening, then we can make steps. Take your right leg up into the air. Bend your knee and then open up your hip. Press that right heel over towards the left. Flexing all of your toes. Take a big inhale. Exhale, stay or flip over. And then reach your front hand forward. Stay here, go into wheel. Yes, Sean, good. Oh, lift up. Come on, Monica, I know you got wheel in your practice. Take another breath in. Good, from here, go back into plank. Then we're gonna go into full-on triangle. So everyone's gonna take this right knee and bring it to your right wrist, and then over to your left wrist, and then step the right foot up by the left hand. It might not come up, that far. It might come back further, and that's fine. Just spread out all 10 of your fingers And then stay here, or we're gonna spin to the left, lifting the left arm up into the sky. And we're gonna be supported by the right hand and the knife edge of the right foot. And the left foot can be kind of palming the ground. Take another breath. Come back to plank. Low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your right foot to your right hand. Rise up into crescent lunge. I had a breakthrough in this pose the other day, and I realized that it's not that I was doing it wrong. And I got to get out of that pattern of making everything that I do wrong. It's just I found a better way. So what I've been doing lately is just making sure that I'm stacking and then focusing on this back leg. So maybe move it back a little further than you normally do. Move your toes right over, right under the heel. So no part of your foot is really touching the ground. It's more just the toes. And that opens up the back leg a lot. It kind of makes it hard to stay. So we're not going to stay for too long. Just reach up, put your thumbs, take your hands to heart center, and we'll take a big open twist to the right. Breathe. And then we're going to take this left hand and drop it onto the ground for revolved half moon. So lift the right arm up. Keep your right foot up. If you need a little more support, go ahead and tap the left toes on the ground. It's a good compromise. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it out. Step back to your lunge. And then just stay here for a moment. You can go back to your open lunge. You can stay in your closed lunge with your hands on the ground, one hand on the ground, one hand up. 2 more breaths. And breathe. If you can breathe through a twist, you can breathe through anything. Take 1 more breath. Exhale it out, spin to warrior 2. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Go where you can go here. You got the space to play, or you've got a wall and you want to practice birds of paradise, go into that. Lately, since I've only been practicing at home, I've been taking my triangles on my half moons and my extended side angles to the wall because it helps me get a frame of reference for how to stack. Once you feel something, it kind of gets into your muscle memory and it's easier to remember. So just record that feeling right now. Bring that top shoulder up, bring your bottom shoulder forward. Take another breath in. All right, you're ready for chaturanga. Go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And lift your left leg up into the air. Bend your knee, open your hip. Take a long, slow breath in right now. On your exhale, stay here and press over further or flip your dog. Breathe. And then slowly come back to your plank. Fallen triangle, other side. So we're going to take the left knee to our left wrist and move it over to your right wrist. Step it up. So I've got the left foot on the knife edge. I'm going to take my right hand up towards the sky. Look up towards your top thumb. Press down into your feet so that your bottom hip lifts up. And then low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot to your left hand. Crescent lunge, find your setup. A setup always starts at the base, so make sure that you've got enough space between your feet to make that a good setup. So if I have both of my feet, one directly in front of the other, I've got to have pretty good balance to maintain that. And I don't, especially being that this isn't exactly the beginning of the practice anymore, I don't know that I have the energy to maintain. So I would spread my feet out. So left foot out to the left, right foot out to the right. Good. Look up between your hands, take a full inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, big open twist to the left. Breathe. And revolve half moon. And so from here, the only change is that that back leg is coming off the ground. And you're dropping the left hand onto the ground. Lift your chest. Take a breath in. Try to look up at your top thumb. I know that's a little awkward, but that's yoga. It's getting us to focus on and feel the things that a lot of things that we just normally try to shut off and avoid. Step back into your crescent lunge. Let's just take 2 breaths here, wherever you are. Reverse your warrior. Extended side angle. Press your left knee out towards your pinky toe, let your hips open. Nice, Brittany. Nice, Monica. Nice, Shefali. Good. Oh, good. Hug everything in. Skin, muscle, bone. And then chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And look between your hands. Hop or step there. Halfway lift, fold, Tadasana. Take yourself up to mountain pose. Look up between your hands. Just for a second, get the full length of your spine. Come back to your mountain. And sometimes you just need a reset. So right now that feels like this, because this is our baseline pose. So tuck that tailbone under, take an inhale. We're gonna step the left foot back to crescent lunge. And then from here, we're going to move the left foot back up and over the right leg, a little balancing act. So move your right foot, or your left foot, excuse me, over the right thigh. So we're going to sit down into the hips. And then, guys, from bonsai pose, this is really, really variable. You can do whatever you want here. Maybe you reach up into chair. Maybe you bring your hands down. Maybe you go into flying pigeon, grasshopper. I can't remember what this one is called actually, but if you want to try the little balancing act on your toes, you guys can try this too. Just breathe where you are. Good. So come back to start. And then we're going to reach up and come into tree. If you want to, actually, there's a variation called half lotus, which isn't too far from what we just did, except you're going to take the left heel, if I could stay still long enough, and tuck it into the groin right here. So it kind of looks like a bit like this. If you want to do that variation, go into that. Maybe hands at heart center, or maybe you grow your tree. Wherever you are though, guys, make sure that your knee is pointing out to the side and not forward. So if I was like this, or my knee is facing you, I'm gonna wanna bring it out. There you go, Mickey. Good job, one more breath. Release, go to ragdoll. Step your feet together. Rise back up, mountain pose. This time we're gonna step the right foot back. So crescent lunge. Big breath in, step between your hands. And this right foot is gonna come up and over the left thigh. So we're gonna sit into the leg, cross the heel over. Sit down far enough so that you can feel this right hip start to open up. Let's be like a prelude to your pigeon for later. Bring your hands to heart center, start to lower down or reach up or go back or whatever's calling you right now. Breathe. Last breath in. Tree pose. Treat your half lotus. And stay or grow your tree. Release. Let's take goddess pose. A little baby squat. Lift your chest. Drop your tailbone. Base yourself to your heels. So sink the weight down into your heels as you do this. From here, let's go to crow. So perfect setup. Bring your hands out in front of you. Draw your knees onto the backs of your forearms. And you guys have all these awesome ways that you can play around with this since you're at home. My favorite thing to do is put my head on the wall and then see if I can press up into handstand from there. So play with whatever you're working on, just play. If you need a block under your head or maybe a block underneath your feet to give yourself some leverage. Maybe that's one of the silver linings of social distancing. We get to do what we love in our own space. I'd go to child's pose. Rise back up. Downward facing dog. And then walk your feet up to your hands. Yogi's choice. Take any arm balance of your choice. Could be crow, could be firefly, could be anything. Could be handstands. I just want you guys to get your hips above your head. Technically, that includes down dog too. So if you need something more restorative, go to down dog. And breathe right there. Wherever you are, breathe. High plank. Low plank. Up dog. Low plank. Good. Up dog. Downward facing dog. And you guys open up your whole ears, listen with your whole ears. I know a lot of times the brain's tricky. It works we hear what we want here, right? Always. Come into plank again. And just accept fully that you don't know what's coming next. It's gonna be okay. Draw your shoulders back, pull your belly in, take a breath. Lower down halfway. Good, now come all the way back up, high plank. You can do this. Press your arms to straighten. Good, spread your fingers out. Do it again, lower back down, low plank. Take a breath in, come on, press back up. You guys can do this, straighten your arms. And then downward facing dog. Good, take a breath. Press your chest towards your thighs. Good, come back into plank. Lift your right leg off the ground. Okay, put it down. Lift your left leg off the ground. Okay, put it down. And then we're gonna lower all the way down to our bellies together. Ready? Come onto your knees if you need it. If you don't, stay put. 3, 2, bend a little more. 1, all the way onto your mat. Let your arms, they can rest out in front of you. If that feels better, they can rest by your sides. Come into rest. Allow yourself to be fully at ease and at peace with current circumstances, which most likely is only that you're pressed up against your mat right now. Are there worse places we could be right now, right? You guys are in a sweet spot. Switch onto your other cheek, even out your neck. Bow pose. Bend your knees, reach around, grab your feet with your hands, and then pull your chest forward while pressing your heels back. So see how far off the ground you can get your knees. And take a breath in, let a breath out, stay put. Let that exhale take you higher. Another inhale, another exhale, lift, and then lower back down. Nice and slow. Come back up. Bow pose. Guys, I have no proof for this, but I firmly believe anyway that you can't get injured when you're fully absorbed in your moment, paying attention. So go further than you normally go, lift up higher than you normally lift up, and send all of your energy and attention and awareness to all the parts of your body right now that you're engaging, everything that needs it. And then just feel your whole body light up like a motherboard, like a circuit board. Breathe. Come back down. And this time, rock your knees from side to side if you haven't already. Just feel the tension melt away from your back. Reach your arms out in front of you. Just for a full body stretch. Rest on your forehead. Imagine that somebody is grabbing you by the wrist and pulling you forward, and somebody else has you by your heels and is pulling you back. So full body stretch. Roll over onto your back. You guys don't have to, you can face whichever way you want. I think it's cool that I can see people's faces in wheel, so make sure you're smiling. Because you guys are happy to be doing wheel, right? I mean, it's kind of an amazing thing that you guys can do wheel. I used to be like so impressed by this when I was younger. Most people's backs just can't get there. All right, so bridge is in your practice. Go to bridge. If you need a warm up, go to bridge. If you're ready, go to wheel and just get all the way up. Press into your hands and feet and lift. Good, breathe. Yes, Mickey, lift up. Good. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower back down to the ground. Take a breath. Get ready for round two. Everybody lift back up together into wheel. Good, big, big, big inhale. Exhale, get higher. Imagine that somebody has an anchor wrapped around your belly button and they're just pulling you up to the ceiling. Breathe. And release. Take your knees side to side. And get back up, wheel. And for those of you who like to be extra in your back bends, I'm going to give you guys some other some opportunities to do that. So if you can lift your right leg up, get it up. Good. Now, if you've got your right leg up, I want you to bend your right knee and rest your left heel, or I'm sorry, rest your right heel on your left thigh. Good. Little itty bitty hip opener. And then come out of this, or just come down to the ground like this. Everyone come down. Was that some glute work, Sam? Everybody come back up. Wheel, last time. Give yourself 3 good breaths. If you lifted up your right leg last time, get your left leg off the ground this time. And if that's working for you, cross your left heel over your right thigh. Sit down into that hip. Release. Take your knees side to side. Supta Baddha Konasana. I took Leah's 5:45, or I don't know if it's 5:45 class last Monday night. And halfway through the class, I was like, oh my God, what time is it? I was so tired. And I was just like, oh my God, it only been like a half hour. And I just look at my watch right now and it's 10 o'clock. That's 10. You guys have almost gotten to the finish line. But my point is, time is just, it is what it is. And if you're really enjoying yourself, it goes so fast. If you feel like things are easy and you're bringing ease into your practice, and it goes so fast. If you're loving what you're doing, it goes so fast. Bring one hand over your heart, bring another hand over your belly. And just fully absorb this moment. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a few rock and rolls. Let's go into plank. All right, bring your right knee to your right wrist. And bring it past your elbow, actually. And then bring that same knee up towards your nose. Take it to the left. At this time, bring it back to the right, step it up. Bring it back to your nose, step it up. Now, I can't bring my foot really directly between my hands. It always steps further back. That's great. Ease it up if you want to. Keep it where it is if you want to. And then bend it again. Bring your right knee to your left elbow. Step it up. So this is what we were doing earlier. This is fallen triangle prep. So we're on the knife edge of our right foot. High plank. Downward facing dog. Let it out. All right, switching to the other side in case you guys get lost. So follow me through this left side. This is the last part of our core for today, okay? So left elbow, left knee. Bring it to center. Bring it to the right. Bring it back to the left. Step it up. Good. Bring your left knee towards your nose again. Step it up. So it's right between your hands right now. Draw it back towards your nose. Take it to the right. Step it up. Fallen triangle. High plank. Downward facing dog. And then lift your right leg up into the air. Bend your knee, send your right hip open. And then stay, oh, never mind. I was gonna say stay right here, or don't stay right here. We're not flipping our dog. We're going into half pigeon. So bring your right knee to your right wrist and stay right there. So since my gym's been closed for the last month, I finally got bored enough last week to decide that I was going to become a runner. And so I put on my running shoes and I went outside and I started running. And I didn't stop running. I ran for like almost an hour. And then I was like, oh, I'm feeling pretty good. So the next day I asked one of my neighbors who runs marathons if I could run with her. Wasn't my smartest idea, but we started running this morning. And I wasn't keeping up, and I started telling myself, I was like, okay, well, I could probably run faster, but I don't want to make myself sore because I'm leading boot camp later. And I was like, I could probably run faster, but I'm going to throw my tailbone out of alignment if I do that. So surely I shouldn't be messing around. I'm gonna tell you guys, I've met a lot of people in my life. I'm able to see when other people limit themselves. When you can see that in yourself, that's like a gift. It's a painful one, but it's a gift to be able to recognize when you're having these beliefs that are taking you out, right? When you're having these beliefs that are telling you that you can't do something, ... because fill in the blank. I feel like we're all coming to a point in our evolution where we want more. If we didn't want more, we wouldn't be on our mats right now. So it's time we start asking ourselves, what are we capable of? And then don't let those, as soon as you ask a question like that, immediately the sensor in the mind is gonna pop up with all kinds of objections. Don't let that get you derailed. So where are you limiting yourself? What excuses are you making? Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up. Bend your knee, open your hip. And then set up for half pigeon left side. So being that it's spring, and a lot of us are getting to the point where we don't know what else to do with ourselves, why don't we start spring cleaning our minds? It's really simple, guys. It goes like this. Allow whatever thoughts are currently in your head just to come in. Just let them rush in as fast as they want to. Doesn't matter. But be vigilant, be hyper aware of everything that's coming into your consciousness, and then be like, just examine everything as it comes in. If it's good, keep it. If it's not, goodwill. Respect your personal space enough to be discerning about the things that are coming into it. Whether it's thoughts of your own, thoughts of other people's, opinions. Allow that awareness to create a cleansing effect on you right now. Downward facing dog. Come onto your back and set up for whatever kind of fish you want to take, supported, unsupported, maybe directly on the forearms, maybe more on a block, or if you guys have a foam roll or a bolster, a pillow, anything works. Anything you want to put under your back. We're just trying to get the chest to open a little more, just so you get the goal or the motive of the pose. It's not supposed to look any certain way. We just want to be open right here. Right? This is the pose of vulnerability. So just continue to be aware, as we were on our left side half pigeon, of what's coming into your space. Shift whatever prop is underneath your, is between your shoulder blades right now. Put that underneath your hips, or whatever, however you want to invert yourself right now, guys. Could be headstand, could be handstand. Where are you mentally? Do you need a little more restoration? Do you need a little more vigor? What's going to bring you back into balance? And slowly release from this pose, bringing your knees onto your chest. Give yourself a big hug, and then take your arms out to your sides, out to your right and left. Let both of your knees drop to the right side as you look over your left shoulder. A gentle supine twist, noticing where you just naturally fall without forcing anything. With the expectation that both of the knees are going to touch and just fall gently in line. If that's arising, just let that go. And then come back up to center. Let's go the other side. So let your knees fall over to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Come back to center. Hug yourself in really tightly right here. Draw in from skin to muscle to bone. Squeeze your eyes shut. And ball up your fists, curl your toes. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Let all of that energy just come tumbling out. Allow yourself to come into complete and total rest right here in this space. Allow the earth to reabsorb any final fragments of tension that you may still be holding on to. Allow your consciousness to drift blissfully onto the things that make you happy, onto the things that you're grateful for. And then allow that sense of lightness and weightlessness to just kind of fade as you feel heavier and sink deeper and deeper into your mat. And let your awareness and all of your energy come back into the room. Let it float gently over your body. And then take a big inhale, reabsorb all of that. Feel yourself getting lighter again. And take another deep inhale. Just imagine your whole body just filling up with light. Big exhale, open up your mouth, sigh it out. And then draw your knees onto your chest. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes as you go. Maybe turning the head from right to left. And then with your eyes closed, roll onto your right side. Press yourself up to your seat. Bring your hands together at heart center. Take a big breath in together and one final Om. Draw your thumb knuckles up to forehead center. Take a big breath in. Exhale, we bow as we say namaste. Namaste, everybody. Hope this was a good start to your week. It was a really good start to mine. I have a couple announcements before you guys go. We've got Leah and I are leading two things right now. A boot camp that started yesterday. It's not too late to register because all of the recordings are going to be available on YouTube afterwards. You'll get a private link for that. And then the other thing is we're leading an inversion workshop this Saturday. So this is supposed to be going on like way back when, before all this stuff happened. Now we're going to lead it virtually, but it's going to be fun. If you ever wanted to know how to get upside down on your hands, if you ever wanted to do handstands or like crow, side crow, running man, pigeon, grasshopper, any of that stuff, all of it's going to be covered. If there's anything we don't cover, there's going to be time at the end for us to teach you things that you wanted to learn that maybe we hadn't even thought of. So if you guys want to come to that, I strongly encourage you. It's going to be really fun. It's 2 hours, so it's going to start at 9:30 and end at 11:30. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's going to start at 11 and end at 1. Sorry. So we're not canceling Leah's class. Leah's class will still be going on, and it'll be right after that, so 11 to 1. And then we have a power yoga basics course starting. So if any of you guys are really new to yoga, I don't think any of you guys are because I know who you all are, but if you know anyone who's new to yoga, this is a great opportunity for them to get a little bit deeper into the practice, because we break down everything pose by pose. We give you the whys, the hows, the whats, all the info is going to be provided. And right now that's only $79. So if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. My number's on the website. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call me. And I really appreciate having all of you guys in class today. So happy Monday, and hopefully I'll see you guys Thursday morning.
Thank you.
Bye, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. It was
You're
awesome.
so welcome.
Thanks,
Bye, Smiley.